Hey yo, it's your boy Calico. Today on Mining America, we're going to talk about why some Facebook groups suck. More of that right after this. So I wasn't sure what kind of video I was going to be able to post anytime soon, so I figured I'd post a drama video because I have been booted out of more than a couple of different Facebook groups, and more times than not, I'm not the guy in the wrong. This other one's sort of like that too. I had a legitimate question. It was legitimately answered last night. I left it alone. I woke up this morning to getting all kinds of attacks. And then I reported the guys because they had physical acts of threats of violence. Before I took pictures and before I recorded video of them, one person had deleted his threats of violence, but not the whole "I should fuck my mother" comment. Now this other guy, Evan, he just went off about how tough he is and what a wussy I am and talking about I must be a drug addict and all this other crap. And I had reported him before I started responding to any of his stuff. But I started responding to his stuff because he's acting like a big-ass child that he can't do anything. We're on the internet. And it sort of gets under my skin because people like this, they always talk on the internet. But face-to-face, they never want to get down. They never want to get down. And this guy seems to be rather stupid. Now, the person that's selling his stones, he doesn't seem like a stupid person at all. He didn't even give a proper response the first time, but his response was fair in that he's not the one that cut the stone, but it's still a great looking stone. And I agree with him. The fire agate you're going to see in this video, it's top quality. It's great looking stuff. It's cut fantastically. Yet the person that's doing the cutting, he's a child. And he can't handle a simple question without just going off and attacking other people. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And for a place that calls itself Fire Agate No Rules Group, the person that booted me, you're a fucking idiot, dude. You got no business handling it like that. You want to sit there and act like I'm the one causing everything when all I'm doing is responding. And I'm trying to respond in as legitimately mellow and medium toned as I possibly can. I'm not talking like these assholes, I beat you up, you a drug addict, and all this kind of crap. So this is a drama video. Say hey to the drama. We're gonna get right into it right now. So I saw this post last night as I was going to go to sleep. Jacob Hunter posts really good looking fire agate. Like these fire agates that he has, they're fantastic, and the cuts on them are fantastic. And typically anything I see of his tends to be cut really, really well. Now, I thought he initially cut them, yet it ends up that he doesn't. But when you look at this video, if you notice underneath the stone, there is a lot of chalcedony on the bottom of the stone. Like it's really thicker than it definitely needs to be. But once again, the cuts and the color are fantastic. If you want to buy any of Jacob's stuff, I would say hit him up through Facebook. I'm sure he'll sell to you. He purchases and resells, which I didn't understand that when I first asked the question. So I had first asked on one of the posts, and then I didn't get a response, and then I asked on another one of the posts. And if you read the responses here, you'll see what ended up happening initially. It was no big deal. Then this morning I woke up to this stuff from Iravan Ponce being absolutely attacking and totally ridiculous. He just went totally off the deep end. Now this dude Marco, there's a whole paragraph that he deleted where he said a whole bunch of other stuff, but he got rid of it and just left the whole "go fuck your mother" part. That's the only thing he ended up leaving from a giant paragraph he had before. And this isn't even the end. This is only just the beginning. Now, once again, buying stuff from Jacob Hunter seems like a good investment. In general, he picks really great stones to sell. Now, he says he didn't carve this, yet it's on a dot, but it must be with some sticky stuff underneath. But my issue is, look how thick the sides of that stone are. Like, they're really, really thick. Now, to me, I would want that to be made into a ring stone, and I'm just thinking about how deep it needs to be set inside of gold. It seems like it's thicker than it needs to be. So that was my question. Why is the stone so thick? And initially, the guy came back saying, oh, it's 4 millimeters thick. That's how jewelers like it, which was fine, whatever. He also said he doesn't like it to where it can break easily, which is fine, whatever. Like here, I said, you're fantastic at carving, but in my opinion, ... your stones are too fat to be put into gold, which they deserve because of the carving and the colors. Now, Jacob Hunter's like, dude, did you even notice I'm not the guy that carves it? It's carved by Iravan Ponce. Now, Iravan left this response last night, said, Calico, many of my pieces are put in gold with diamonds by different artists, and one of them is Glenn. Everybody knows Glenn. Everyone has their own thoughts. I don't want a stone so thin and fragile with the risk of breaking. No big deal to me. I didn't even respond to that. I just went to sleep last night. Yet fire agate is not fragile even when it's thin. It's just not fragile. Now this morning I woke up to a whole bunch of other crap. And Jacob's response was even before Iravan's was here. Calico, next time you see, I post fire agates I purchase, not ones that I cut. He doesn't cut fire agate. Which for his prices, he has to be getting really good prices to be selling them at what he is. Because his prices, to me, seem to be fair. Even if the stones probably weigh 30% more than they should. But that's not all the stones Jacob Hunter sells. Just the ones from Iravan seem to be heavier than they should be. I've seen other of Jacob's stones, and all of the stones I've ever seen Jacob selling, they're really nice. This dude has a good eye for fire agate, and he must have the hookup on getting some of the prices, because once again, his prices are right. Now, the previous responses by Iravan were to the second time I had actually said something about the thickness of the stones. These responses are to the first time I actually said something to the stones, yet he responded to them in reverse, and these are what I woke up to this morning. You can see by my comment is 13 hours old and Jacob's comment is 13 hours old, yet Airvan Ponce's are 2 hours old. And him and his buddy went off, and we ended up going back and forth for a little while. Unfortunately, I wish I would have caught or thought to take a picture or record Marco's first comment, because that was the one where he was talking about physical threats of violence. Yet it didn't take long for Iravan to start saying the same things. Now, as soon as I started seeing threats of violence, then I reported them to the admin. Because even though the group is called No Rules, I thought that has to be against the rules. I mean, I can sit here and talk shit online about how I'll kick your ass like anybody else can online. Yet I'm one of those people that if I'm really that serious about it, I'll just wait till I see ya, because who wants proof of it in a public forum? Now I'll just start reading the back and forth for those that are listening while they work instead of actually watching the video. Iravan said, Calico Wheels of Steel, I think you're just trying to keep the price up to 4 mm thick. It's perfect for jewelry store. Fuck you somewhere else. You don't want to buy. Just don't do it. Your comments are not welcome. I responded with, wow, it's a legitimate question. You seem a little bit touchy on the subject. What a tough guy. Good job on carving stones. Your attitude needs some help, though. And I thought that would be the end of it. Oh, no. Airvan says, Calico Wheels of Steel, respect for good people. You are not. Immediately after that, I get a notification. Calico Wheels of Steel, you are criticizing. If you don't like it, just don't buy, and you're going to avoid this. Then his buddy Marco sent me a whole paragraph, which I can barely remember, which talked about how I'm an idiot and he's going to kick my ass and all that kind of crap. But he leaves the comment of, why don't you go fuck your mother? Because that's something that's done. And my response to Marco is, another real tough guy. Your personal attacks show how weak you really are mentally and probably physically. Now at this point, I had already reported them to the admin for the physical threats of violence. Something I would definitely come to regret really soon. I responded to Iravan saying, I asked you a question that you answered on a different post. Now you and your boyfriend want to act all tough like you can actually do anything about it through the computer. You both show your intellect is rather low. Iravan responds with, Calico Wheels of Steel, I would like to have you in front of me right now so you can see how weak I am. I'm sure I can easily kick your ass. Another threat of violence, like how dumb are you that you're going to post that stuff in a public forum? if you actually do see me in public and kick my ass, I have tons to sue you with. So it's really dumb to do that sort of stuff. And my response is goading again. Iravan Ponce, you are really, really tough. Also, once again, as stated previously, you're not very intelligent, it would seem. And the reason I'm saying he's not very intelligent, it would seem, is because you don't post threats in a public forum. If any of you don't know that, now you do. Iravan comes back really angrily. The idiot is you when you're doing those kinds of questions. I have a reputation as a fool, as you are nobody in my way. And when I read this, I know what he's saying. It's obvious that him and his buddy are not from the United States and they don't have a good hold of the English language. But if he has a reputation as a fool, who am I to argue with him? And I'm not trying to be in his way. My initial question was literally for my own education. Now I respond with, Iravan Ponce, I didn't attack you. Your first answer was quite enough. I didn't challenge the first comment you gave about why you wanted them to be thick. Then you and your moron boyfriend start acting all tough and acting like I'm attacking you when it's obviously the other way around. You keep acting like you want to physically attack me. You don't know anything about me, which leads me to believe you have not been in enough fights. People that have a lot of experience fighting don't make assumptions without at least finding out who they're challenging. I, on the other hand, it's typed wrong there, have been into a lot of fights. I have won a fair share and I have lost a fair share, and I don't get so heated over simple questions like you and your boyfriend have. You must be really powerless in your life. You carve great stones, but you act like a child. You need to grow up a little bit and try not to act like such an ass. Which, I think I should have said this probably first, because I started playing back and forth with them because I was pissed off about the crap they were saying to me. And in all honesty, I was sort of sick of it. I should have made this statement one of my first statements instead of one deep in the middle. Now, Airvan comes back with, Calico Wheels is steel, you piece of fag. Is not necessary to see my opponent for a fight. I simply fight with whom the president is looking for me like that. Mister, I am not afraid of you or anyone else, a piece of fag. Tell your girlfriend to clean the diaper, your crap. Which, if you can decipher that, then you're probably a little bit better than me. I pretty much know what he's saying, but at the same time, he keeps acting like I'm the one that's talked all the fight noise. He's the one that's talked all the fight noise, him and his buddy, not me. That's the only reason I even contacted the frickin' admin, was because of their physical threats of violence. And according to the admin, that was a mistake I made. I never should have reported them to the admin. I just should have kept acting as stupid as they are and making dumbass threats towards people I don't even know, because that would have been better than getting the admin involved, because the first thing he did was boot me and then start telling them how they're totally cool and I'm just the instigator and the one that wanted a problem, and there wouldn't have been any problem at all if not for everything that I had done and said. There's a small bit of truth to that, but not near as much as what he'd like to think. Iravan Ponce says, by your appearance, I could say that you're falling asleep with methamphetamine or heroin, crow, that you are a piece of drugged shit. Obviously, he's an idiot. He makes assumptions by one picture where actually it's a really great picture of me with like a scrunch because the sun is in my eyes and a half smile. A black and white picture this girl took at a place I was DJing at. I like that picture. I've had it up for a couple of years. Now the admin finally jumps in, and this guy's a total idiot and exactly why Facebook groups suck nowadays. This is the second time that somebody else is totally breaking the rules way worse than me, and I'm the guy that gets punished, and the admin's like all on their side because, they're probably bed buddies. Calico Wheels is steel, says Finn McFinnigan. And who the hell fights with someone then reports their post? This is disgraceful and 100% why I removed you. First off, I had reported their posts way before I started responding to them. But my whole notifications log was nonstop filled with crap from these guys. What you're seeing on your screen is only a part of it because the notifications log only goes back so far. But this admin, the guy that booted me, Finn, he's a prick too. Just a total asshole. One of these people that's going to act like he's not instigating something that he totally is, which is how our conversation went when I contacted him. He was instigative and calling me names and then trying to pretend like he wasn't doing that. Here's what I said to him. I reported him before I responded to any of the slanderous crap him and his buddy were saying. After about the 4th notification on my phone, then I started responding. They had threats of violence through both of them, and you want to boot me. It's totally okay with me. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel when I post a video about this. Should be up in a couple of hours. Finn responded with, "The fact that you were trying to drag this on shows how immature you are about this whole situation. You were clearly trying to stir the pot. Feel free to try and spin this however you want. You were questioning the work of a respected member of the fire agate community. I spoke to him about the language that he used and the fact that you shouldn't handle it, and the fact that you couldn't handle it like an adult speaks volumes for your character. Feel free to include this in your YouTube video. Send me a link to it, even so I can share it with the community. You speak of people attempting to be slanderous, yet what is the point of making a YouTube video about it to slander another artist? Grow up. You just told me to put this in it and share it." I responded to him, "I am making a YouTube video in response to being booted out of the group after other people were making threats to me, not the other way around. I have about 10,000 more subscribers to my YouTube channel than you do to your fucking Facebook group, and I'm going to tell them to buy from Jacob and avoid these other two dumbasses." I sent him a video showing all the notifications I got, and then I said, "This video shows exactly what my notifications look like. I was getting barraged by these people and only responding after they made their statements and their threats." He says, "You do whatever you want. You were both acting like children." That's the one actually correct statement. Well, maybe not the one. I said, "The first time he answered my question was fine. I left it alone last night. I didn't argue with anything he said. Then this morning I see all their threats and talking about fucking mothers and bullshit. People that make threats in public forums are stupid." Finn says, "Then why did you keep stirring the pot? That's why you were removed. You had every chance to stop engaging with him." I said, "Mining America, Google that. You'll see my video." He says, "Luckily, this is a private forum. You're at the mercy of the people who moderate the group. You wanted to stir the pot. You shouldn't have pulled in an admin. It's not my job to tell two grown men to act like adults. Grow up, dude." I said, "This whole situation is exactly why Facebook groups really suck nowadays." Finn responds with, "Then don't participate. It's that simple. He told you all you had to do is not respond if you don't want to buy it. But you were looking for an argument. You were removed for creating issues for not just the artist in the groups, but for the admins who had to deal with it." I don't know why my thing said "I want," because all I tried to say was, you obviously went after the wrong person. But I see you're on the side of the person that makes threats towards other people. Good job, adult. You handled the children perfectly. I reported them because of threats of violence, not cussing. Then you boot me. Real good decision making there, buddy. Whatever, I'm done with this bullshit. Good luck to you. And I was trying to end it there. I was just trying to, okay, we're done talking. Bye, have a good day. That's what that was supposed to mean, right? Here comes the instigation. Finn says, "I don't need your luck. I do just fine without it. Take your self-imposed pity party elsewhere." I said, "Go fuck yourself, asshole. Is that better, Mr. Adult?" He says, "And now I hope you understand why you were removed from the group, an inability to act your age." He's being an instigative prick when I said, "I'm done with this bullshit. Good luck to you," is like goodbye. It's like, see you later. And then he wants to say some stupid shit, so I say some stupid shit back. Yeah, that's the kind of guy I am. He has an inability to be an admin. You shouldn't be an admin, Finn. You're fucking horrible at it. And this is why Facebook groups suck. Because it's not about right and wrong. It's not about who's saying what and what. It's about who's friends with who. Because if I wanted to draw this out even longer, I still have access to the communications that were going on inside of that first string. And him and Iravan have been kissing each other's asses back and forth. "Oh, thank you, Mr. Admin." "Yeah, that guy's wrong, Mr. Artist. We got him, ha ha ha." And stupid garbage like that. It's ridiculous. But this isn't the first time this happened to me. This is the second. And the first time this happened to me, it had to do with an obviously fake specimen fossil. It was supposed to be a fossil. It was supposed to be a giant, it's like this big. It's supposed to be a giant copper replaced scorpion, which is obviously fake. Like, it has to have been poured. It's like a man-made item. It's not a millions-year-old fossil. And I pointed that out, and a bunch of people came after me. And then the admin came and booted me. And not just that, but the admin was somebody I'd done business with before. The whole thing then was stupid as hell. The whole thing now is stupid as hell. But I tell you what, it pisses me off. The reason it pisses me off is because The only thing that was wrong in all of those communications, I don't care about them telling me go fuck my mother, but they're making threats of violence. You shouldn't make threats of violence. That shouldn't be allowed in anybody's group at all. That's the big point here. Mr. Finn, if you're watching this, Mr. Fire Agate, no rules, say whatever you want to people, just don't get the admins involved. Go ahead and tell them you're going to kick their ass, and hey, if they have their address online, why don't you just show up there and bring a weapon with you too? Because that's the world we live in nowadays. We live in a world where a bunch of crazy people do a bunch of crazy shit, and that's why you're not supposed to allow people to make threats of violence in your group. If you make a threat of violence in one of my groups, you're gone. I almost don't even care about the other stuff that's going on. Now, you want to single the guy out who's responding to the other stuff, you need to check the timeline. And you need to make sure you're getting the right guy, because I was the wrong guy to get. That's how I feel about it. Yet, Jacob Hunter, he's got good stones. If you want to buy a piece of fire agate, he's a good dude to buy from. From what I've seen, he has to be getting some killer prices. Maybe he's buying in bulk, or maybe he's only making a really small profit off of them. But the stones he sells is really good, and he completely stayed out of that crap. He had nothing to do with it. My question was legitimate. He's absolutely adding at least 30% more weight on those stones than there needs to be. There's no need for a 4mm thick stone that's flat on top. If your stone is flat on top, it shouldn't be that thick. Now, if your fire agate is curved and bubbly and the color comes down the side, then make it as thick as you want. It's different. It's different depending on how the color flows. But if you have an extra 2mm of clear chalcedony on the bottom of your stone, you're just trying to make it heavy. That's all you're trying to do. And the guy saying that Glenn has set one of his stones, Glenn cuts fire agate. He's one of the best carvers on the planet. I imagine that before he set that guy's stone into gold, he probably trimmed it down a little bit so that he didn't have to have 4mm of gold sticking out of the top of the ring. It's just a bit crazy. It's absolutely nuts. But drama seems to do good on YouTube. So did you like this drama? I tell you what, it aggravated the piss out of me. It got on my nerves. It made me mad because it really gets under my skin when I keep my cool and I try to say, hey, you're acting like an idiot. And they're like, oh, you have to stop acting like an idiot first. No, you, no, you, no, you. And that's sort of what the admin was getting at. But he wasn't doing it appropriately, that's for sure. The admin just wanted to go ahead and pick at me some more too, like the other guys were doing. So, whatever. Screw them. Like I said earlier, I have more subscribers than they have people on their fire agate page. I really should care a little bit less, but I tell you, man, it really pisses me off when I'm not the one talking all the shit, yet I get punished for it. It reminds me of being a kid. Because I would be bullied, I would finally react, and then I would be the one that got in trouble. It wouldn't matter that kids would see me getting bullied. It never seemed to matter. Yet I grew up to be a bully smasher. I do know how to fight. I tend to take on all comers when they bring it to me. But people that have half a brain don't make threats online. Because I tell you this, if those assholes see me anywhere and they do anything, I'm gonna own whatever they have. That's the best part about it. Go ahead and attack me. Go ahead and tell me in public that you're going to beat my ass, because I'm going to have a screenshot of that, and then when you do it, I'm going to sue you because I need money. Everybody knows I need money, and I'll take your money if you want to attack me, especially if you want to say it in a public forum. Those guys are stupid. Don't act like those morons. Marco and Iravan and Finn, screw all of you. I really don't care. But you did give me a video to make, and I had no idea what my next video was going to be. I'm waiting on a response from my people at Deshine. I'm going to do a video about their products again. I have a technique for carving fire agate, which is the way to go. It's absolutely the way to go. I believe in that. I like it way, way, way better than what I've been doing previously, and I'm going to have a video about that soon. But this was a drama video, and it is non-stop drama in the rock hounding world. I'm telling you right now, when it comes to mining claims and minerals and being out there, there's always some drama going on. So here's a little taste of my drama that happened today, and don't join that Facebook group. There are other better Facebook groups, because that Facebook group is run by an asshole, or at least one admin's an asshole. There's probably a bunch of others that aren't. Who knows? Screw it. I love you for watching. I'll see you soon.